quick. I'm going to go full webcam for this one here. You know,
go ahead.
For a very long time, the United States military has been deployed all across the world. We have carrier groups.
History in the making.
Off the coast of Japan, off the coast of Taiwan, protecting Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, carrier groups all over the place. We've had U.S. military equipment being shipped to Ukraine. We've had carrier groups, off the coast of Iran and in the Mediterranean, off the coast of Israel, protecting Israel from Iran, giving them $3 billion a year. We've had God knows how large of a military presence protecting the European NATO member countries. And so nobody bats an eye. Nobody bats a single eye when we're defending everybody else around the world. But the second we say, hold up, wait a minute, let's lock down our own hemisphere. Let's take care of ourselves in our own backyard. Enough about other people's backyards. Let's clean up the dog crap in our own backyard. Then and only then everybody says, hold up, wait a minute, this isn't America first. That's not America first. Really? Because I happen to think it's kind of more America first than anything else.
Who is this guy? I started watching him a couple weeks ago.
This might be the most justifiable carrier group positioning that we've had in like 80 years. I don't even know, okay? In my mind, it's pretty justifiable. I understand maybe it's controversial, but that's just, once again, everybody has their opinion. Now, I'm
Matt Morris TV.
Super chats here.
Matt Morris.
Thank you very much. Chris D,
I like the way he talks.
He says, Merry Christmas to you and your family, Matt. Thanks for all of the coverage. I'll tell you a little something here if we can stop talking about Venezuela for a minute. I'm about to have like 6 relatives staying at my house for 2 weeks. They're getting here in the next 4 days. Some are coming from Germany, all over the U.S. We're having a big bonanza here. So
really?
I am going to be this Christmas season, starting in about a week, I'm going to be a little bit hit or miss. I'm going to try to keep up the coverage. I'm going to try to keep on pumping out videos and live broadcasts and doing it all every day.
We'll have the family with you.
Family in the house. So
the background there.
Thank you, Chris. Back at you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We say Merry Christmas.
They can be in the chat.
In this community. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. And then we have a couple other big super chats here. Over here, the final 2 of the day. Duck, he says they supply oil to China, and China supplies precursor ingredients to them to make the drugs. Our land border is secure, but not our coast.
And so over here
it's this entire cycle.
On the big screen over here, I got.
It's almost like the Ouroboros. It's this entire cycle.
Where are you, F-18?
GLR.
You got to shut it down, and you have to shut it down.
Who's on it?
In multiple steps.
2 growlers, a Hawkeye, 2 F-18s.
Agenda Free TV. I ain't seen old Steve. Steve Luckner, Agenda Free TV, he's always on it. I like Steve.
Wait. We're on like a standby.
GLR cracks me up.
Oh, session timed out. Hold on, we'll put it back.
Flight radar.
Session timed out.
Try free for 7 days. You gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for it.
I love this flight radar. Expand out just a little bit.
147 UTC. Universal time. Is that atomic time?
Yeah, I think right here. Yeah, we'll go right here. So we can just see, because you never know when these F-18s will pop up maybe in the center.
Breaking U.S. planes.
U.S. planes have entered Venezuela, at least one plane. 5 military craft out there, they all vanished. Transponders off, or something is brewing.
We gotta get a feed from Caracas. That's what we need. We need a live feed from Caracas. Remember the starting of that last war? They had
U.S. military
24/7 live cameras blowing the shit out of everything. Jesus.
Enter
Uh-oh.
Venezuela.
What happened to the... I lost Matt Morris. I wonder
Maybe
what
we should put a
happened
little
there.
suspense music
That's
on
weird.
softly.
This is serious. Okay, let's go to subscription. There's agenda free. JLR. With Matt Morris TV. Guess who?
What do we got? So we're gonna kind of just watch and kind of wait a little bit and see.
What's been the end of
Growler
it?
pops up, the F-18 or the Hawkeye.
Well,
Hawkeye.
oh no. Come on.
But we saw it. We saw it.
Alexa, stop.
We saw it.
Timcast.
Unless they're playing some sort of psychological warfare right here. A mind game with Venezuela.
Timcast.
We definitely saw it. Definitely saw this.
So let's just go and Phil, do you want to actually read the piece there, because there's that video that went viral I think yesterday of Tyler.
I lost my phone stand.
It's kind of
Planes are all moving slowly.
some people said he was laughing.
One plane down there
Grinning
moving
is probably
across
better word.
Venezuela.
Yeah, my
Smirking,
friend.
grinning, looking smug, just looking really, really
My
smug.
only
And,
friend.
I said, well, no wonder they want to pull the cameras out, because they can't stop their defendants.
That is at 35,000
from
feet.
smirking and
It's called
cracking jokes.
BIASA.
Guy who's not going to be going home to his family on
I
Christmas.
don't
know
and his
where
little
to
children
put ya.
and his wife, and you're sitting in the
And we
courtroom
are
just laughing it up with your lawyers. Of course they want the cameras off. That's why they're
Yeah.
pulling that. But then I don't know if
Best
you
I
wanted to
can
read
do.
that line. So
Huh.
I guess Daily Mail hired a lip reader. Yeah.
Welcome
And the
aboard,
lip reader
folks.
said that according to
All
her,
right.
she believes this is what
Find
he
out
was
where
saying
exactly
to
this
his
goes.
attorney.
Yeah, I think about the shooting daily every morning, all the time. The expert, Nicole Hickling, said she watched the footage and that's what she saw Tyler saying. I mean, look, if this is the guy, which it's I think that they probably got the right guy. He turned himself in, and there is an abundance of evidence that points to him. And if it is, he's not doing himself any favors. I mean, even down to Jack, you pointed this out, even down to the colors that he was wearing, the first day, the tie color. If you're unfamiliar, it's the same color as the trans.
Description of the Growler again for people that
Transgender,
are
like boyfriend
just
turned him
jumping
in or
in.
something. It
The
was
EA-18G
Okay.
Growler
I remember there were
is
rumors when it
in
like
the
first happened that like the transgender
family of
partner
aircraft
turned him in, and I remember tweeting something
It was
like
cooperation about it.
It's like-
Super Hornet platform
like
with
imagine you
sophisticated
see what happens with like Luigi
warfare suite.
Mangione, and you think that you're gonna like have that same kind of like fangirl energy or something, and then your like transgender partner turns you in. It's like, dude, how can you be surprised that like Z switched up on you when Z switched up on himself first? Like, so
Well, and if you actually, so there's another line on there where it says, the forensic lip reading expert also said, so he had a wife.
Yeah, the Utah man accused of murdering Charlie Kirk made a series of upsetting remarks about the late conservative and his family, as well as his own mental health and loved ones during his first in-person court hearing. Tyler Robinson, 22, told attorney Catherine Nestor, "I think about the shooting daily, every morning, all the time."
Somebody said he has lack of a frontal lobe.
Expert Nicola Hickling revealed after watching footage filmed at Thursday's proceeding in Provo, Utah. "So he had a wife," Robinson was then filmed saying in reference to 31-year-old Kirk's widow, Erica, 37.
So can like, all right, before I even comment on this, does that sound like something a normal person would be saying in court to their lawyer? You know, can anyone actually think that a lawyer would sit there and give their client advice, say, "Hey, make sure you talk about the shooting when we're sitting there, and definitely talk about his wife." Like you would probably sit there, and I'm not a defense attorney, but, and I don't think any of us are lawyers, but you would just think basic common sense would be like, sit there, don't show any emotion, look serious, be respectful, be respectful to the judge, respectful to the process. And he's babbling. He's just babbling about, again, if this is, we kept going. Oh wait, I didn't even see this part.
Hickling, who runs Lip Reader,
you know what I mean? Like, he's babbling like someone who is just totally radicalized.
Yeah. Right. Hickling, who runs Lip Reader, told the Daily Mail that Robinson's reflections turned inward and that he gestured lightly as if trying to express exhaustion. Nestor's responses to Robinson, accused of shooting Kirk dead in Orem, Utah in September, were not visible, but Robinson continued to bare his soul to her. "Just smoking a lot, not sleeping at night. It's driving me mental," he said, according to Hickling. "Unfortunately, it's doing my head in. I'm not good for anything." I mean, I'm not particularly swayed by any kind of stress that he's under. Again, he was turned in by his parents,
so he's talking about his mother too.
Yeah, here actually.
Next, Robinson began speaking about his mother, Amber Robinson. "My mother goes away to see friends, to be away from the media, which I think makes sense." After another back and forth, he then said, "What I would like to do is make it as easy as possible by answering all of their questions so there's no comeback. It is unclear about what comeback Robinson was referring to."
Comeback.
It goes on. He and Nestor then discussed procedural issues, which offered no further insight into the shooting, Robinson's state of mind, or his questions about Charlie and Erica Kirk. Thursday's appearance was the first time Robinson was seen in person after making previous court appearances via video or audio feed from jail. As he entered the courtroom, he smiled at the people sitting in a row reserved for family, where his mother teared up and wiped her eyes with a tissue. Robinson's father, Matt, was the one who handed him into the authorities after recognizing his son in surveillance footage shared from the assassination that shocked the world. Robinson's legal team in the Utah County Sheriff's Office have asked Judge Tony Graff to ban cameras in the courtroom. Shortly after the proceedings started, Judge Graff ordered all press and public to leave the room. The defense asked the judge to allow Robinson's parents to stay, which was quickly denied. Graff had already made allowances to protect Robinson's presumption of innocence before the trial, agreeing that the case has drawn extraordinary public attention. The judge held a closed hearing on October 24th in which attorneys discussed Robinson's courtroom attire and security protocols. Under a subsequent ruling by the judge, the suspect is allowed to wear street clothes in court during his preliminary pretrial hearings, but must be restrained for security. Graff also prohibited media from filming or photographing his restraints after his attorneys argued images of him shackled and in jail could prejudice the jurors. Michael Judge, an attorney for the Media Coalition, has urged Graff to let news organizations weigh in on any future requests for closed hearings or other limitations. The media presence at Utah hearings is already limited, with judges often designating one photographer and one videographer to document a hearing and share their images with other news organizations. Additional journalists can typically attend to listen and take notes, as can members of the public. Judd wrote in recent filings that an open court safeguards the integrity of the fact-finding process while fostering public confidence in judicial proceedings.
Well,
so just
I'm trying to find some live from Caracas.
Want cameras
because when they're blowing the hell out,
impede on the proceedings, but we want the proceedings to be full.
The Palestinians had live cams showing them
reading this for the first time and hearing this for the first time.
It was cooler than hell.
They've completely lost control of their client. They have no control over this guy, his actions, his statements whatsoever. There's no world where you'd want someone talking like that at a trial. I mean, I remember Derek Chauvin's trial.
Gigi Cypress, some of them guys should be there in Venezuela.
he doesn't really speak, you know. And then Kyle Rittenhouse, same idea. He doesn't speak until he goes on the stand. But this guy he's just babbling. He's just it's diarrhea of the mouth, and it almost sounds like that line where he's talking about the comeback, right? I want to answer all their questions, so there's no comeback.
This is all fake.
And this is the way I read it. You know, you guys might have different opinion, but it sounds to me like he wants to talk to the media. Right? He's saying it in the context of my mom's trying to get away from the media, so maybe I can go and talk to them and answer all their questions so they don't come back on my mom. And
he got hauled away.
Just let him.
Go
right ahead. No, let's hear it. Let's hear it up. Let's hear it up. Let's hear it. Let's hear every word, because he's sitting there smiling, laughing, grinning, and again, that he's talking about, oh, what's my mom going to be up to? It's like, well, I know a guy who's not going to be with his family this Christmas. I know a guy who's not going to be. I know 2 kids that aren't going to be with their dad this Christmas. For Charlie's son, this is it's his second Christmas. He only had 1 Christmas his entire life with his dad. 1. Which, and at an age that, you know, he's not going to remember. There's going to be photos. He won't remember that. And their daughter, I mean, hopefully she does maintain some actual memories of their father beyond.
She's 3, right?
Yeah. So beyond the, you know, photos and images, and, you know, I'm sure obviously we'll all tell them stories and be there, but my God.
YouTube through the PlayStation
and to think that
big screen,
there are people who.
I'm running a MacBook.
Okay.
To run the other screen.
Looking at this picture of him smiling really bothers me.
And I got you, my fellow knucklehead.
If your thesis is that this guy was a patsy and he's been wrongfully accused, all right, how do you fit that with all of this? How do you fit that with this? How? Just explain to me that. How does that make any sense? And by the way, they said his mom's right there. So if his mom's right there, the media's right there. She doesn't say anything to them. She doesn't say, my son is innocent. What mom doesn't say my son is innocent?
Yeah.
Just walk me through that.
You imagine she'd be hollering at, even like just leaving the courtroom.
Make it make sense.
He's innocent or what have you. Yeah.
Somewhat. Yeah. Well, and when she left the courtroom, because Brian Etten, who works for News Nation, who's a fantastic, he's does a lot of these crime cases. He did Brian Kohberger, similar situation. And Brian Kohberger, by the way, physiognomy identical, by the way, physiognomy check.
And BFT's on live.
That at one point they went to speak. So it was the lawyers and the
real-time military flight tracking
cameras, and so everybody had to leave the courtroom. And that included his family. His family judge said, "No, I just wanted to be, the legal teams." Okay. So the mom's out there in the hallway with Brian Etten, with media. They're all there for hours. And she doesn't once say, my son's innocent? Come on. Just really? Like, really? Like, we're really supposed to believe that this guy who's sitting there laughing, smug, smiling, coking and joking, having a good time, is wrongfully accused?
He's entered a plea of not guilty, correct?
No, not yet. He hasn't been arraigned.
Okay.
No, he has not. He has yet to actually been arraigned. This is all. This not even pre-trial. This is pre-arraignment.
Okay.
So I believe the way the Utah works, I totally could be getting this wrong, but I believe there's a presumption of that. But even this is just all preliminary because it is a capital case, and in a capital case, there are so many steps you have to go through, and it's a lot slower. It's not like TV, drama.
Yeah, they were scheduling things out to June of next year, if I understand.
Yeah, and I think the next hearing isn't for 2 months.
Wow.
So it'll be February 3rd is
drag it out
when they're going to we're actually going to hear on this question of whether or not there'll be cameras. And again, so this is what we have to go off of. This lip reader, and he's very close to the camera, by the way. So this isn't like some pseudoscience where he's like, all the way across the room and you're like zooming in and pixelating. He's right next to the camera, and the judge actually called that out and made them move the camera because it was so close. But yes, you could see what he's saying, and I actually was trying to kind of read his lips a little bit too. And so here's the professional lip reader saying all this. I think about the shooting every day. So do I.
Electrocution thing.
Yeah. So do I.
Yeah. I'm not sure that they're, does anyone else have anything to add? I mean, this is.
I mean, here's I guess the question, and I'm a little emotional about this, but it's like,
Where's that pussy Tim?
How do you fit this with the idea that this guy is like totally
Everybody
like,
hates his ass
set up
now.
and he wasn't the one who pulled the trigger and all this? Like, how does that? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
You would just like choose to believe that it's all kayfabe and he's out there giggling on direct orders from his handlers, because then people like us are like, wait, he's giggling like he got away with something, and then you can do this like mental gymnastics where you're like, yeah, but it's because he's supposed to do this, because if I choose to believe this, it makes it all so much more entertaining. And it's just like completely selfish. I mean, you're discounting not only a guy's entire like body of work, but a body of work that he died doing. Further, that he died doing specifically for you. And people who are claiming to be on the right and who believe in these things are willing to set all that aside because they personally find it more entertaining to think that something is afoot. There's some kind of op, which again, like they're, and this is, we were talking about this upstairs actually, how dishonest that framing is, again, with this like, I have to perpetually believe I'm, a revolutionary or whatever. You are convincing yourself that it is not the most popular thing in the world right now to celebrate this guy's assassination,
people get
and to
whacked
deny, more importantly,
all the time.
that it was a leftist who did it. You're not going to get censored for that. In fact, you'll be platformed on all the mainstream
Stab under the
platforms. You can do
third
epic
rib.
collabs with other influencers to just spread this pollution out there, because what the left would like more than anything, they're not going to tell you that you have to, necessarily celebrate the assassination, but they will tell you that you can't say it was a leftist. You can say it was whoever you want, but do not allow for that ire to be directed at the leftist political project.
Yeah, immediately upon hearing that Tyler had family that were conservative, then the narrative online became, well, his parents were this, so of course he wasn't on the left. Of course he didn't believe these things. He was a MAGA guy, and that's still I've seen polls that's still very popular among fairly normal people. They think, oh no, he wasn't a leftist. He was just a disturbed kid, or he was actually a conservative, etc. And that kind of poison the well that the left has managed to do. They hear that and they.
It looks like we just extracted her out of the country, right?
We did.
Yeah.
The mission.
That was a private group. Got her out of the country.
She's got a glitchy.
I wonder if she's up for. Might be installed as the next president. We'll see. If
got a
Maduro
glitchy
decides
zoom.
to.
A glitchy zoom.
Might not be up to him anymore. Not sure. Reality just became a recon crew member. Holy smokes, welcome in. Reality has some amazing things to share in chat. Super glad you're here. Welcome in, and welcome to the recon crew.
Recon crew.
Absolutely right. I do want to just confirm with you that it was Rhino 51, correct? That went haywire on flight radar. It was not Rhino 61. That's correct, right?
Right, correct. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh, he
That was
smokes
a whole
weed.
15, 20 minutes ago.
That guy smokes weed.
I can check for you here in just a second.
Oh,
I believe it was D1. But I just want to make sure that I
She doesn't have a name.
read that correctly.
So we're gonna go into. Don't be alarmed by what you see on the screen. We're gonna back up an hour here, and we're gonna speed things up
Oh.
as we're talking about
Back
what's
to
going
the
on. We're
future.
gonna kind of play back what happened. This F-18 Rhino 51 broke the loop and was heading south. Again, I believe it lost tracking, and flight radar / ADSB was kind of guessing where it was going based off its last coordinates. This is, again, my guess. I don't want to be the one saying that Rhino 51 was invading Venezuela's airspace by any means. But again, flight radar was showing it without tracking, heading south, as well as Grizzly 2, and definitely went over before we lost it. Where was it? It was over here by San Pablo, where we lost tracking of one of those F-18s. But again, I believe it lost tracking farther up here. go back to real-time mode. These F-18s might be returning. They're heading north at the moment.
What that mass?
So I'm showing that only 60% of the people hanging out here are subscribed. We'd love to have
He
you.
said,
And don't miss out on
the
breaking news. We're live 24/7.
USA shut down all the internet all over the
if you're subscribed to us, and
Caribbean.
hit that notification bell.
Puerto Rico, Cuba.
You need parts? We got parts.
Jamming all their
Product availability.
communications.
Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart.
Sounds like
Right
war
now,
to
get one
me.
free set of Brake Best brake pads when you purchase 2 Brake Best Select rotors. You can upgrade to Brake Best Select brake pads for $10 more, or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20 more. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
If Trump can overthrow Nick, that'd be a pretty good accomplishment in my book.
It's a scam. Don't share gift card codes or personal information. Stay one step ahead at scamspotter.org.
Makes sense to me.
So please take 1 second. You might have to close chat if you're on your phone. Close chat and hit the subscribe button.
Well, this is
And
about
then
all
bring
that's
chat
going
back.
on. Charlie
Again,
Kirk
if
shit.
you're new here and you haven't shouted out and said hi, go ahead and say
Venezuela.
hi Frost or hi Warwatch, whatever in chat, and I'll shout you out. Love to have you here. Fried Pig, welcome in, says sub. Hey, thank you so much.
Fried pig nipples.
Lamb Chop is kind of confirming what I was talking about or guessing. Lamb Chop says allegedly the black line on
Oh
Flight
my
Radar
God.
is the guest route. Yes, that's what I was trying to get across. I don't know that for sure, but that was my guess. I didn't want to say that this is it. This is the
Knucklehead
United States
news.
going in for a strike.
See you later. Love you all.
I'd rather